is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know if I'll ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down. Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground. And I really wanna know if I'll ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down.
All right, beautiful sisters, and welcome to the final day of our workshop, our New Me in 2023 quarterly workshop. So welcome to everyone that is joining from YouTube. Welcome to everyone that's joining over in our Facebook community group. Maybe you're in the New Me classroom where those group of ladies started in the original workshop for the New Me, because we always have a gigantic workshop at the beginning of the year to put this together. So this is our best friend. If you're new, maybe you're new, and you are coming through this video because you noticed the title and it said goal planning and it said free. There's something free. So this is for you. You're going to love it. But there's a little bit of a system here. There's a little bit of a rhythm and routine here. So don't let that like throw you. Don't go, oh my gosh, I don't want to do all that. It's actually amazing. And the ladies here will drop a comment below and let you know. So you know what? Take one little step in today and see what the rest of the month unfolds. I promise you, that's my challenge for you, because a lot of times things can look overwhelming. But the difference between, and I will be honest, the difference between my planning system and a lot of planning systems that are out there is this system works. This system helps you understand where God is at work in your life, where you're at work in your life, because we're all mastering ourselves and there's always a season going on in our life. So how do we organize all of that? And that's what I want you to see. So if you are here for the first time, you're going to want to catch this playlist from day 1, 2, 3, 4, and it leads us to today. All of the other days are very important to lead us to today. Now, before we get started, I have to tell you something kind of funny. Well, it's not funny. It's nice. It's kind of neat. I was laying in bed this morning and I thought, okay, I need to get up. And the first thing I always do is, you can see over here, is I get up, I get my coffee, and I jot my plans down. And then I brain dump on a separate piece of paper. And I'll take some of those plans, branch them out with little spokes, write down some things. I'll show you this in a second. And when I was sitting there and I'm like, okay, I'm going to teach on this, and I had my paper and I was getting ready to go work out. So I'm like, all right, I got to get moving. Well, then as I'm doing this, I know without a shadow of the doubt that the Holy Spirit was pressing on me to get upstairs and make some copies for you. Make your own goal sheets, because I keep saying that this planner is going to come out, this planner is going to come out. But you know what? I'm staying, focusing, and making it happen today, because God reminded me that whenever you set a goal or you set something, you're mastering it. And a lot of times we want perfection before we go with it. Now, that's important depending where you're at in business and what you're doing. You never want to get ahead of God. However, when we master things, with writing this, I already have a whole new vision for how this is going to look next year. I mean, amazing. Now, I could have waited and said, well, it's not ready, it's not mastered yet, I'm not going to put it out there. So sometimes when you're setting a goal, you're going to do trial and error, but don't be afraid to go with it. A lot of times we're afraid to do something or go something because we don't feel like we're right emotionally or mentally, or we don't feel like launching something because we're not sure if it's perfect. So God said, it's not about perfection. Get it ready, put it together, and let's run with it and watch the tweaks. It's all about the tweaks. Watch what God, but give them something to work with. And God's like, come on, let's just dump this out today. It's not hard. So I have a surprise for you. I will be making that announcement this afternoon. I have my day cut out for me, but I did most of the hard work this morning at 5 a.m. So what I have for you at the end of today's video is exactly what you're going to see. I have a free PDF for you, and you are going to love it. Now, will it change and will I tweak it? Probably in the next 6 months, absolutely. But I'll hear from you and we'll have fun with this and we'll see where God goes with it. But God's like, just let me work with this. Don't think about perfection, because perfection will delay. It will delay your progress. If you're thinking things have to be perfect, it will delay your progress. Again, today when I got up, I thought, wow, I worked on this. I ruined all my whole morning routine. Everything I had jotted out. Now I can't get a workout in. Get 35 minutes in. Maybe you don't have your whole hour, but get 35 minutes in. That 35 minutes, I still burned 400 and did my weights. So sometimes we think too hard on our schedule. You need to approach what I'm going to share today. We're going to share a couple verses again. I'm going to go to the PDF. You have to approach this schedule where you are in your season. And I'm going to try to help you adapt, because if you look at me, you're going to say, that's not for me. She's running a business. She's executing this. That's not me. You are executing something. So I'm going to show you how to make this for you. But I'm very hesitant on sharing planners and stuff, because the planner communities and the societies, I love them, but I'm never at peace when I start comparing, because I'm like, oh my gosh, look at her planner. Oh my gosh, look at her writing. Oh my gosh, look at her highlighters. Oh my goodness, where is she getting that layout? And so I don't like to do that. So I've had to hide from the planner community a little bit and just find out me based on my personality and based on me. Now, yes, I like planner communities. I like people because they do encourage me. But I want you to know that you've got to find you first. And this is going to help you. This is going to help you figure out what works good for you in your planning. So I'm going to share what this is at the end of the video, how I use this. I'm going to share how I use this, which are the printouts that I made for you. So let's get started, and let me go to our wonderful PDF. And here is our PDF. And let's go to our first page, which is, what are your top 10 goals this month? I want you to be thinking about your top 10 goals this month. Where are you going to get those top 10 goals? That's the top question that a lot of people will ask me. Where are you going to get the top 10 goals? You're going to get them from your life wheel. Now, this is from I'm using this one. This is my illustration from January. Remember, we already set up our new one for April, May, June. We do this quarterly. So this is where you're going to get it. So when you look at this, I'm going to look at each one of my areas and I'm going to come up with a top 10 goal. So I'm going to share mine with you based on your areas. Now, you may have 3 goals in one of these areas. You may have a certain goal. Sometimes your goals are habits, and I'm going to explain the difference because there's a difference between a goal and there's a difference between a habit. So if you're putting vitamins down, it's a goal to do it daily, but that becomes a habit. So sometimes ladies are already in your habit for taking your vitamins daily. I'm not. I skip a day, I get sloppy, and I'm really focusing on my health, so I've got to know what works. So that is one of my goals, and it's a goal now because it's not a habit. Okay, so we'll talk about that in a little bit. Maybe, for example, somebody wants to keep their kitchen maybe going under home. One of your goals is to clean the kitchen at night or keep your kitchen pantry cleaned. I can't believe, back in the day before I was teaching full-time here, I would go into homes and do home organizations. And one thing ladies loved getting their pantry organized. So we would organize the pantry, but what they would say is, it will not stay that way. How can I get it to stay that way? Well, then that is a goal that they would put under one of their goals is to keep it organized every day. Go in there, allow a few bit of times. Maybe if the baskets are all organized, maybe there's a system to teach the family, whatever. There's a goal and you're going to work at that for 30 days. And you know what? Those around you will get your goal. Same with cleaning sink. They'll get your goal. I've had to put notes out. The goal this month is there's no dirty dishes in the sink. Not one. My kids know that. You do not go to bed without a dirty sink. I've closed the kitchen and I put it good night. We put our kitchen good night every night. Everything is done. So my kids have learned that. It is now a habit. But we were working on those goals. So I'm going to share the difference of those two because that is going to help you not get overwhelmed in picking your 10 goals. Because at the very end of today, I'm going to ask you to drop a comment on either your 3 top goals. And if you have all 10, I want to hear them. Because I want to say congratulations to every girl and every sister that has stayed here for the 5 days and that have been working on this. It's easy to say, oh, this is too much, but you will see marks move in your life. You will see markers move. This is the way to move it. This is the way to move it. So I'm going to share you something now. I'm a work in progress. I'm mastering this, but I found what worked for me. So with that in mind, you're going to look around your wheel and I'll show you when we get to the goal sheet how I pulled off of my wheel. But that's first and foremost is your wheel. And that's why it's important to set that up. Now, let's go to our verse for today because I like to reflect on God's word before we do anything. Again, if you head over to heatherbaxter.com, you can grab this PDF form right here. This PDF form is all the verses that have to do with planning, that have to do with your new me, that have to do with your goals, that have to do with your visions. All of this is part of realigning, resetting, restarting, reclaiming. This is what we're doing this quarterly. This is why we paused, took a time out because we're like, wait a minute, we're going to reset in April. We're going to reset, jump in what we're going to, continue to do because in this ministry, we have a rhythm and routine. It may look different every month, but we're always on the game together. We're always playing a game. We're doing something to allow ourselves to go from glory to glory. So again, how do you fill out your wheel, sister? You're going to want to check back in the recent videos, though that's all on there. So today we are going to go, and if you're new and you're like, what's this new me in 2023? Go and check all the videos that I have on it. This workshop could help you set it up. You can order your book over on my Amazon workshop, author shelf, or you can order it right on my website. So let's go to today's verses. And this was right off your sheet. Proverbs 16:9 says, in their hearts, humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps. In their hearts, humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps. Let me just take a second and address something that's very important. In my planning system, God is my number one priority. My focus is the will of God. My focus is the will of God for my marriage. My focus is the will of God in how I parent my children. My focus is the will of God in my career. Now, there's a lot of things I could be running and pursuing after, but I want God's will, because God's will is what brings blessings, favor, and anointing. We learn that 365 days a year in this ministry. I teach you that. And so when I goal set, there's some goals that I'll put down. Now remember, when we wrote our visions and we talked about all of that, very simple, it's not hard. When I drop and sow those visions, I give it to God. Because sometimes I'm chasing some things and I'm desiring some things, but God says, I have exceedingly, abundantly, and above all that you can ask, think, or imagine. That's what his word says. That's in Ephesians. Exceedingly, abundantly, and above all. That's Ephesians 3:20, I believe. Exceedingly, abundantly, and above all. Exceedingly, try to say that 3 times really fast. Exceedingly, abundantly, and above all that you can ask, think, or imagine. Think about that verse. Think about that verse and then think about your plans. Then think about, why do I have the desire to help you understand God's plans? You know why? Because a lot of times we fall into plans by our emotion. We fall into decisions by, this feels really good. But is it really God's plan? Is it really God's plan? And in June, remember I said in June, not next month, we're going to have a class on how to discern God's voice, because that will help you along with this. But the whole idea is our Bible studies monthly, along with this, and along with our planning guide, which I'm going to get for you in a second, you're going to begin to see the pattern. So I want all these tools to work together for you, and you will. I promise you. I've been doing this, and my kids will tell you, my husband will tell you, 20 years. I feel like I have some wisdom to give to you. And so with that verse in mind, know that we take our steps this way, and God will go, wait a minute, no, this way. And sometimes we struggle and wrestle with that God, with that area. Why God? Why God? And I taught that in these previous lessons for the 5 days. So let's go ahead and look at the next. So just know that it's okay. We're going to plan, but the pages that we're going to do today are going to help you watch the pieces move. It's going to really get down and watch the pieces move. So let's go ahead and let me just read the next verse, because it's one of my favorites. When you're getting ready to pick an area that you're going to work on, an area like your 10 goals, it's going to be based on what season you're in. And let's look at this. There is an appointed time. There is an appointed time. I love that. First of all, that means God's timetable. God is up to something. It's his appointed time, not ours. So there's an appointed time for everything. That means your healing. That means breakthroughs in your marriage. That means breakthroughs with your children. That means a job opening. That means a closing on your house, a new house. That means the next launch in your career. There's an appointed time for everything. But behind the scenes, God's working either on the characters in your life or you. Okay? And it says, a time for every affair under heaven. Every affair under heaven. And I want to read the rest of this. I have my Bible out, and I'm going to go ahead and read the rest of this, because this is a great verse. This verse is something that I use a lot in the ministry, especially because our mantra here in the ministry, our big thing is to believe, behold, and become all God's created you to be in whatever season of life. And so this verse right here says, I love this. It says, there is an appointed time for everything and a time for every affair under heaven. Let me know if you identify with any of these affairs. A time to give birth, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to uproot, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to tear down, a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to scatter stones and a time to gather them, a time to embrace and a time to be far from embracing. It's boundaries right there. A time to seek and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to be silent and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. There you go. I have seen the business that God has given to mortals to be busied about. What God is saying is that God has made everything appropriate to its time. Ecclesiastes 3:11. God has made everything appropriate to its time, but has put the timeless into their hearts. So what God's saying here is he has a beginning of something that he's processing and an end. And sometimes we're caught in the middle, the gap in our marriage, the gap in our relationships, the gap in our career, the gap for why. And you have to just love what the Lord is doing in your gap. The enemy's going to rob you from joy. The enemy's going to rob you and put doubt and grief in there. But you know what? There's a season for that. Yes, there's a season to mourn. But on this side of heaven, God is your father. You are his daughter and he loves you. And in that gap, in Romans, it says, in Romans 8:28, for all those who love the Lord and are wanting to follow his will, he will work everything out. It says that according to his purposes. He will work it all out for your good. Read Romans 8:29, for your good. So when we plan and we move, you are giving your plans to God to work them out. So allow God to move and kind of put your emotions a little bit on timeout, although there is a time to mourn, but know that he is there in this season. It's really important to understand that before you plan and before you look at things, because it can become really frustrating. And you can take this planner and throw it out the door, and you'll give up on things. Remember in Habakkuk, it said, write the vision down, make it plain, but you're going to run. You're going to run, and there's going to be days that you're weary and you want to give up. Do not give up. To everything, there's a season. Now, if you want a little bit of extra work in the next week, because I'll be doing some teachings and stuff this week, I would say break down every area of Ecclesiastes. If something spoke to you about a season in Ecclesiastes, like a time to embrace and a time to not embrace, you might be saying, what does that mean? I encourage you to go Google that. Go Google and do some map questing on that and see what God tells you. He may speak to you directly over an area of your life and say, yeah, this is the season you're in. This is the season you're in. There's boundaries right now you're not to embrace. Don't get in the way of what I'm doing. Don't get in the way. A lot of times our children are going through something and you just want it better. You're going to do everything you can. And God's like, you're getting in the way. This is part of their development. So a lot of times what you're going to put down in your top 10 goals will reflect what is going on in your season. So that's a really good verse. All right, just wanted to share our verses. I think they're helpful and I think they're very important to see. And remember, you have that whole sheet of verses. All right, so if you were just joining, this was a 5-day free workshop. We've already went over these two. This was yesterday, actually 2 days ago and then yesterday. So I'm going to show you how important, when I said in this 5-day workshop, we're doing a quarterly reset. One of our quarterly resets is taking these 8 areas and just saying, as of now, I'm right here, right now. And then on the next page, you have a bunch of different pages, and those are the 8 things right there for you to just kind of mark some things. Mark it up, not really getting specific, not putting a measurement to it, just kind of putting some things out there on paper. Okay, and you have those areas. We did that. Now, what we're going to do is take all of that, and that was your little dream page, and we're going to come to this page right here. Now, I'm going to zoom in. Okay, the dot page is your brain dump page. These two open right next to each other. So all those dots are your brain dump page. This is what I want you to focus on. And this is what I made for you too. So if you can see this, this is all you have. I'm going to let me move it. Wait, that's not going to work. I should have done it on the opposite side. Let me see if I can. Well, it's not important to see this whole thing right now. Let me just do this and then I'll bring it up for you. It's a lot easier. On my desk in the morning, the first thing that I do when I get up in the morning, and again, it depends on when you want to do this, but when I personally get up, I will either go and make my water, my lemon water, hot water, and I don't do that every single day because guess what? I'm working on that. But I usually do my hot water, and then I get my water, and I will either, two things. I will either, yes, I'm going to talk to you about brain dump. I will, and I'm just answering a comment right now, so that's why I said I'm gonna address brain dump. But I will either do two things. I will either get my coffee, and that's why I said my schedule is flexible, and I will come in here, or I will sit downstairs, or I'll go to a cozy place, and I'll work on my top 10 goals, and I'll dump them, which I'm going to show you how to do that with your piece of paper. And then after that, I head up and I start working on these goals, and I schedule them out, and I'll show you how I do that. And I just kind of have them, and then I will brain dump, and I'll show you how I do that. And that's really quick in my day. So I went ahead and I worked the pages today that you're going to get. So let me just take this one for an example. I hope you can see. Let me turn this light off. Okay, let me turn this light off. So if everybody can see, okay, I'm just going to try to do my best. This is what you're going to get. You're going to get the same PDF. And again, this might not be helpful for everybody, but listen, no matter what, if you're single, you're at home, you feel like you don't have much of a schedule, I'm going to show you how this will work for you and help you. Okay? So right up top, I have my date, and then I don't usually put my 3 top priorities right away. Okay? I will once I've laid some stuff out. I usually go right here, right away. Right here, right away, I list my top 10 goals right away. That's the first thing I want you to get used to. So let me give you an example. I list my top 10 goals right here every single day. Every single day. So what are my top 10 goals? These are the new things that I'm going to print off into a book for you. My top 10 goals and how I'm going to move them. So I'm going to read you what my top 10 are. My top 10 that I'm working on may not change. Actually, I have kept these the same since the beginning of the year because I'm tweaking and I'm mastering. I am mastering myself, and I am a progress. I'm in progress here. I'm moving forward. That's even written here that I remind myself. So it's okay to move and try different things. So the top 10 is for me right here. My top 10. We're going to go over those. This is what I want you to learn to list. Those are coming from my wheel. Rated my wheel. I looked at where some of my worst places were on my wheel, and I created a top 10 goal. So here's what I did. AM up early. Okay? You may not write that. You might have something as simple as get out of bed and make my bed. I want to get up early. I'm playing around with my time. Now the season has changed here in Michigan. Time is different. The birds are waking me up. It's a lot easier to get up in the spring and summer. So I have had no problem getting up at 5:30, 6 o'clock. It's beautiful. So as the seasons change here in the winter, it's dark. It is so hard and it's cold. So I have to really work on things to make that happen. Right now, my up early is trying to rise by 6. Sometimes on my schedule is 7. Now, when I put these top 10 goals, I don't pick the same time every time that I'm getting up. I allow myself grace days during the week based on my schedule. Okay, so that is why I look at my whole week ahead of time. But when I wake up, see where it says move the marker? Move the marker? That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing for that goal. So wake up early today, rise by 6 a.m. Now I filled this out. This was my one that I'm using, but I'm actually making you one now. And I'm going to start using my own book once it's made. But I woke up. I'm like, rise up by 6 a.m. Second is workout. Workout. And I put down what I was going to do. Move the marker. How? 25-minute walk on the treadmill. Weights. So I did arms today. I did arms. And so I did my rolling machine. And that's what I got in. Okay? Then, yes, you can fill this out at night. I do mine at night a lot of times too. I love to do it at night because it gets me excited about the next day. So good question. You can fill it out at night. Then my next little thing is I have a little symbol here. It's DG and BS. It's DG and BS on line 3. Dreams and goals and Bible study. Dreams and goals and Bible study. My Bible study time. My dreams and goals. So what I do is I do whatever Bible study we're in for the month, I do that. Right after my workout, I will do that. Now, sometimes I flip. Again, it doesn't matter what order they're in, because you're going to see right after my dreams and goals is self-care. Sometimes my self-care will come right before. And there's different things that I do on my self-care, different days of the week, and they happen at different times. But I'm focusing on self-care. I'm focusing on skin. I'm focusing on tightening up my skin. I'm focusing on wrinkle lotions. I just bought a whole big package of a lymphatic system with a lymphatic what do you call it? I have a few things here. I don't want to get sidebarred. I'll sidebar y'all. Anyway, I have a lymphatic board, a paddle that I use on my legs. So some days it's a bath day for me. Some days it's it just depends. So I can play with my system. And that's something that I'm working on. So you can bring this up. Maybe there's some self-care that you need. Maybe there's something going on, but that's one of mine. Dreams and goals in Bible study, it'll flip. I'll get my thing out and I can check this off if my dreams and goals were written the night before. This is my dreams and goals right here. This is it. This is what I'm doing right here. This is my dreams and goals. And if I'm specifically working on new me for a quarterly reset, then that's what I'm working on. And a lot of times when I'm working on this, it basically is just getting my dreams and goals done. I want to know that I can check that off for this 1 week in April, or maybe it's going to take me a couple weeks, but I want to know in those 2 weeks that I did it, that I actually did it. And so that's my dreams and goals in Bible study. Remember, I always say remember, if you watched my 5 non-negotiables video, I have it up. I have 5 non-negotiables that happen every day. Well, guess what? They're in my top 10 goals because sometimes life can get sloppy and I want them in here. So workout is a non-negotiable. That's a non-negotiable. Listening to a faith-based message. That's a non-negotiable. Listening to somebody outside of me on a daily basis, whether it's a podcast or listening to a pastor. I do that with my headphones while I'm working out in the morning. So that's part of my Bible study. That's part of it. Then when I come down and do my Bible study here in my office and I do the one verse, I listen to it all. And then that is my way of processing and looking at what God is doing, which I'll teach you how we do that in June. We'll have a Bible study on that. But after that, then I move into one of my other top 10 goals. This is called an email loop. For me, I need to clean out emails daily. That has to be one of my goals right now. I have to do that. I can't allow an assistant to do that or anybody. I have to do that. So that takes time and I need to allow 20 minutes. So I make sure that I check that off before I do anything else so I can keep things going. The next thing I have written down is Project 1. I label Project 1 and Project 2. Those are 2 of my goals. And the reason why I have a Project 1 and a Project 2 is, and this is under career. This is under career. Those are 2 of my goals under career, Project 1 and Project 2. One day a project might be a podcast. One day might be filming. One day might be editing. One day might be filming and editing. Project 2 may be coaching calls that I have to focus on. Whatever I have to focus on that day, I know that I have 2 main career goals that I have to focus on and move my marker. I'm trying to practice strategies right now, marketing strategies. And I have a business coach that I love. She's a sister that God has just appointed over me, and I'm working on that. So what my Project 1 and 2 looks like right now, I'm shaping and I'm mastering something right now. So I'm trying to figure out how to zoom and make those things work. So that's 2 things that I'm working on. Yours might be different. Maybe you have Project 1, Project 2 for home management. Maybe there's 2 areas of your house that you're going to say, I'm going to tackle those boxes. I'm going to fix that closet. I'm going to get up and make that happen. I'm going to do chair exercises. I'm going to go and I'm going to do a 10-minute video and check off a 10-minute video that I watched on YouTube. And I'm going to do leg lifts and I'm going to do arm lifts and I'm going to follow that video. I'm going to make time for myself. Some of you guys have busy schedules. You wake up in the morning and you leave. So you're thinking, what's my whole schedule? You've got to find those little fluffy clouds of time throughout your day to master some of this. And maybe you only have 5 goals. That's okay. I have 10, maybe you have 8, maybe you have 7, maybe you have 5. Whatever, I want you to come up with at least 3. I can fill in 10 easily. I can put vitamins. I could put water down. whatever. There's a lot of things. Put my laundry away. My husband and I share the responsibility. He washes, I put away. He's so ahead of washing, I've got 3 laundry baskets that need to be put away. So in home management that day, it may not be, I'll know that day what my home management might be. It might be put laundry. I know today it's vacuum steps, and you'll see here, I have garden. You'll see garden, and I'll show you brain dump what I do with that. So you'll see garden is one of my main focuses today. And so after my project 1 and 2, I have home management, which is one of my main goals, my top 10. I have vitamins as one of my top 10 because, again, it's a goal. It's not a habit yet. I need to get in a habit, but I'm trying new vitamins right now. So that's all part of my physical because I knew I needed to try some new supplements. Also, I have down dinner. Now, I didn't have that goal last month. I had read. I wanted to read some books at night. This time I have dinner. Because we are in a season switch right now, and because we are very busy, my husband comes home, we have a large piece of property, and we love to do work outside. We love it. My dinners have to start being cooked by 3 and laid out. So we're doing different types of seafood bowls, Korean bowls, whatever kind of bowls that I can pre-make, we're eating. Normally in the winter, I was chef. I was working, but our other goal is that we're done eating by 7. A lot of times we get out in the yard and we work late and we're like, oh my goodness, I'm hungry. And then we eat late. We cannot do that in the season change. Right now, I'm trying to adapt to the season. So when I see dinner on my schedule, it's telling me to prep early, make a healthy choice because the kitchen has to close at 7. Now we may have a snack later if we're outside late and it's summertime. You know, we may enjoy the outdoors a little bit, but still the prep and the work is done. So that has to be part of my schedule. So it's on one of my goals right now. It's on one of my goals to take a time out and just make that a priority. I sometimes get so ahead of myself with doing things that I don't prioritize that. And that we need to make that a priority because that goes along with my health goals, and weight loss is the time that I eat and what I'm prepping and not grabbing something just because I'm hungry. So see, that all went in. I hope I'm not losing anybody and that's making sense. I'm sharing mine. You might put a water goal down. Now, sometimes for vitamins, I'll put vitamins and water, and I want to know. So that's one thing I'm working on. I need to have 6 of these every single day. Now, I know I follow Chalene Johnson. She gets 6 bottles and puts them in her fridge. She buys cute little bottles because the cute bottles trigger her. I don't need cute. I just put 6 water bottles in my fridge every single day, and then I fill this up. That's what I do. I pre-fill my water bottles, stick them in the fridge, take them and dump them in here. So I have something to get my water in. Okay, so you're going to get all these. You're going to get this. And here's the exciting part. I'm going to give you the PDF so you can practice. And I'm going to talk to you about my timeline in a minute and brain dump. I'm going to be giving you this in a PDF, okay? But my goal is today, I'm going to actually put a book together. I'm going to put a book together where you open it up and you have your day and you have your brain dump right next to each other because we all need a brain dump. We all need this. However you want to use this page, I'll share you. However you want to use your note page. I'm a note girl. So you're going to get this and you can practice in this. And then eventually this is going to come in a booklet. And I'm thinking, wow, I might just use the cover of Beauty for Ashes and put it on here. I may just do that. Heather, so we will fill this out with those same goals every month. Yes, I like to stick with the same goals. The terminology may change. So when home management comes, you're going to write it down because you're looking at your wheel. You're going to write it down right here. But where it says move the marker, see where it says move the marker? That will change. So maybe home management is garden today for me. And I'll show you how I break that down in my brain dump. And this takes me 5 minutes. 5 minutes. When you break it down, you're going to say what you want to do that day. Remember, you can't have a list of stuff because smart planning. have some sort of a system, which we have, right? Right? Measurable. So every single day, I'm going to measure how I'm going to move that. If you have physical workout, how are you going to move that? How are you going to measure that? I'm going to watch a YouTube video and I'm going to do my arms for 10 minutes today. Whatever it is, whatever you can do. I'm going to get in a short walk at night. Whatever it is, okay? That's your move. That's your measure. And it needs to be attainable, easy, something you can do. So if I was to put down work out an hour every day, today that wasn't attainable because I was running late. My husband didn't go into work until later. We had a morning together. So I adjusted, but I knew I wanted to check out workout. And I knew if I don't get it done in the morning, it's not happening because I have a busy day today. So guess what? I make it attainable, whatever I could get in. Be flexible with yourself because if you put something too high, you're not going to do it. Make baby steps in whatever area. Maybe one of your goals is for relationships and you are going to write down, pray for daughter, read Psalm 143 over my daughter. Maybe you're going to put that down under relationships. Maybe your goal, your top 10 goal will say relationships here, okay, in one area. And maybe that relationship, the name changes. Maybe there's two people. So over here, you might move the marker for relationships and you might be, because you're focusing, it's your goal to focus on relationships. It might be text my husband, pray for my husband. If your husband's struggling, I know that I'm going to pray this today and you can check it off. Because a lot of times we say we're going to do these things, but we don't. Maybe yours is Bible study. I'm going to show up for Bible study every single day. I'm going to do the next workbook that Heather has coming out May 8th, and I'm going to check it off and I'm going to show up. So that would be under your personal growth right here, your personal growth. I'm going to personal growth, me. I'm going to sign up and I'm going to do my Bible study. Maybe, whatever. You'll know, the Holy Spirit will help you. So that's what I put. This little area is just a brain dump area to put a mantra down. I was testing out my new highlighters down there and I put that I want to order highlighter markers now. So I took a little note, but this is just your little brain dump. I put washi tape down here. This is washi tape. This is washi tape. And so I decorated it up. Now, my timeline. What I do is I like a timeline because I'm ADHD. So I need a timeline in front of me, okay? So my timeline is right here, okay? See where that's at? And I leave space because I like to write. So you get 2 lines in there because I'm one that likes to write it out. So 7 a.m., up. And I even wrote down here, work on planner, last minute vision. So I wrote that down. Today I was up, work on planner, last minute vision. So I put that down. Now I could even start this earlier at 6. Maybe if I start getting more feedback, people want the times earlier, I'll adjust this. I'll adjust the times. Just speak to me so I know what I need to, how I can tweak this. I just started with something. And then after that, I had 8:30. I wanted to get a walk-in. Well, I actually got started later because I was working on these PDFs for you. So I was like, crap, I'm going to miss my workout. So finally I'm like, I'll get my workout in, but I'm only going to have 25 minutes today. And I'll be working out in the yard, so I'm sure I'll get my 10,000 steps in. So I wrote that down. Then I have live at 10 a.m. Right after live, I have film. I plan to film a video today on something that I have in my mind, but I also may flip that because I have create. So see? Yeah, start 5 a.m. would be better. I agree. I agree on that. I'll work on that before I post it. And then look at eat earlier than last night. We ate too late last night. My husband was putting a deck table together. We were really excited. It's summer. We were outside working on planters and we didn't go to bed till 11:30. That's not normal for us, but we're super excited in this season. We're super excited to sow and plant. And so seasons can be busy. We're busy. We're up late. We're excited. It's summer. I want to decorate my porch. I want to clean my porch. I want to get a wreath on my door. I'm so excited. It's summer. And so things change. but I need to stay consistent in some areas for my career to move forward, for God to move forward what he has for you. I have to stay focused or that's not going to happen. Because you know what? I love summer. I love friends. I love to entertain. I'm outside late. I'm probably outside till midnight. My patio becomes my family room. It certainly does. And we only get this time like for 3 months. I take full advantage of it. So therefore, my wake up time is just a little bit later, but I have a lot to do. Running and being a CEO of HB Ministries, there is so much to do. So much to do. So many different categories. So I'm learning all of that. And not only that, I do have to focus on my relationships. One thing that I'm working on right now is relationships, and that's making a content with my mother, just contacting her, making time for her, making time for my dad. I'm not going to have them, but it's just hard. So I got to put it down in front of me. That's my goal, to make that happen. So I move things around. So that is how this sheet goes. I'll do a full video on this, I think, just on this once I launch the book to really help you. Now, brain dump. What do I do with this? Now, this is a fine line sheet. See the dots in it? You can do whatever you want. If you want to draw squares, if you want to use it just to write, just free space to write your day out, to write your plans, you're on the phone and you need to jot something down. You need a number, whatever you want to do. What I do is whatever I have written in my top 10. Let's go to home management and let's go to garden. See that? I don't have enough space to exactly break down garden, but in my mind, I have garden right here. This is happening today. Part 2, hydrangea. I have 3 parts of hydrangeas in my backyard around my pool. I've already weeded part 1 because I made that a goal. Weed part 1. If I just look at it, I will go, I will never get this done. I am so overwhelmed. Part 1's weeded. Part 2's weeded. Today's part 3. And the whole pool got done this week. And if I would have looked at that, I would have thought that's never getting done. Never. So part 2 hydrangea. Part 2 top garden. I have a top garden. I did part 1 yesterday. Part 2 is done today. It's getting all the leaves out. And then front garden, top of hill. So when you pull in my driveway, I have a front garden, top of hill. Now this brain dump, if some of these don't get done, they'll get carried over into a circle tomorrow. But there's nothing better than coming in at night, and because this little thing sits on my counter, and being able to just scribble. I'll show you. Here's mine. Now that I'm making a new book, this is what mine looks like. This is mine in progress for this week. So let's look. Outside, I broke it down. This was Beauty for Ashes, what I've been working on. This is the new me, what I've been working on. Bills, what I've been working on. June study, what I've been working on. And what is this one here? Personal. I needed to order some things on Wayfair. Just personal, like I needed to pay taxes, get my taxes in order. I needed to order my herb plants to put in my herb planner. I bought the cutest herb planner. I cannot wait. It's going to go on my wall outside. But I allow myself this personal brain dump because I'm scattery. I love to go bing, 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 bing. That's me. And I have bing moments all the time. These little circles are my bing moments. They are my boom. And when you have a bing moment and you're like, okay, I need to do this outside. When you think of outside, you have probably 20 other little bing moments that go outside. So what I do to get my frustration down, I put chairs. I knew my chairs needed to get put together. I knew I needed to weed. So those were big things. This is the beginning of the week. See, week ahead. This is my week ahead. So I was brain dumping week ahead. And when I give you your week ahead also, you're going to have an area where you're going to just say weed. Now, how do I break that down during the week every single day? I'll put garden and then I'll get specific to how I'm going to weed. Where is this all coming from? My top 10 goal that says home management. Do you see? Is that I am probably the worst teacher at trying to teach this. I've been just trying to work at it. Yes, same with me, scattered. This helps break it down into smaller, doable little chunks. Yes, measurable, attainable, reasonable. Reasonable. That's what I need for a brain that has so much going on in it. I have to do that. My husband cracks up when I'm carrying this around. I've got this going on. And he's like, really? And you know what he does? Everything is here in his calendar on here, and he's very organized, and everything is here. I said, don't even tell me. You highlight everything. You know, one of my things are, because I love to play with planners, I was looking at templates for my iPad, and I have my pen, and I was like, how fun would this be? How fun would this be to have all this in here? How fun, right? So, of course I put that down. Of course I put that down. I might do that because I've got a pen. I've got it. But he's so organized. And let me tell you, don't let him fool you because he's color-coded too on his phone. I was like, you are color-coded. So anyway, that is, and again, if you look back, I've been doing this at the beginning of the year. I have my Halloween. So I started here. So you can decorate your pages. My frog study, when we did the frog study. And so, yeah, looking back all the way, some of my stuff hasn't changed. Fall came, so it's just something I do every day. Every day, nothing's changing. Just get up. Sometimes I decor day. That's all. It was a decor day. Imagine that. Decor day, home reset, nothing else. Just let your head go today, Heather. Let your head go. And I need that space to just get in my home and have fun. I love it. I love those days. And I allow myself that. There's what you got. That's it. Right? So sometimes they look like that. But if you go through, everything on here is just me in the morning. And it doesn't take long. Doesn't take long. So I'm going to give you the papers to kind of go with it. Here's March. Here is my brain dump again. This is me going to Florida, getting ready for all my Florida trips. So it's just something that I've been doing. I've been doing this a long time. It works for me, and it helps me. Now, all this works. Now, what do I use this for? Let me just wrap up with this. What I use this for is my passwords are in here. My YouTube analytics are in here. My goals for my weight and my health I have under here. So this is just my little personal journal really quick. That's what I use this for. And it's right here under me. It says goals. And then a little picture of, I say me with my messy bun. And then behind it is my physical goals. And then I'm logging and doing some things. I'm logging and watching stuff. So one day, did you log your food? Did you drink your water? Did you walk? So I'm just, and how long did you fast? So just different things for me. And so that's there. All my passwords are here. And then my calendar for how I do Bible studies. This is all for work. Everything in here is work related. So when I open it up, I know when I'm doing podcasts. I know when I'm doing that. So nobody needs, a lot of people don't need these two planners, but that's what this is for me. I can look at growth. I can look at everything. So this is where my just everything's at. Just everything for life important. Social security numbers, bank numbers, my own personal health logs that I don't want the world to see, some things that I just want to keep track, some habit trackers maybe are in here. I'm not really big on all of those, but just everything. And if I decide to, I was doing all my weekly pages in here. This is where I was doing what I just showed you, which these can be made for this. If you have a planner like that, these can go in here. You can hole punch these and size them right to here. So you can do that. There might be a day I decide I want to carry this around. And I'm going to hole punch this because I want to just carry this. I play around because I love planners. I love planner piece. So I will, who knows? I may go back to her, but she's been with me a long time. I love her and she's just sweet. So that is all I have for you today. I hope it helps. I mean, it's a lot. Take time. I'm going to give you the PDFs. I would love to see yours tomorrow. I would love to see you post a picture of your top 3, your top 10. I'm going to put these up on the website right now. I'm going to go do that right now. I would like you to just practice the top 3. What are the most important out of your top goals? Maybe you don't have top 3 priorities. Maybe you're going to put a piece of sticker over that. Maybe you're going to put a little sticker over that and put 3 things you're grateful for. I don't know. Move it around. You could put 3 things you're grateful for. You could put, a Bible, whatever you want. But I have my top 3 priorities, and that is make a quick notebook. So that's a priority. I want to make your notebook. I want to make your notebook for you. Also, film Beauty for Ashes intro and pots in the front yard. My pots are all over the front yard, but my husband comes home at 3 and we're going to get soil, and I'm going to work so hard today outside. What planner is the one you held up first? Oh, this is the Daily Grind. I love the Daily Grind. I've learned a lot from her, and I have learned her process, and her and I are a lot alike. Her name is Angela, Angie Belmere or something. But it's funny. It's funny. I have been watching her for the past 10 years. We both have the same momentum she has a blueprint guide for your dreams and all of that. We do the same kind of goal planning. I have the same visions as her. We run the same way, except hers is absent of God and mine is completely different. So she doesn't ever talk about faith or her Christianity. I don't know where she's at with that. However, when I found her, I realized we are a lot alike. She's pushing out her journal. I'm pushing out my journal. And this is exactly what I had in mind to plan. This is exactly what I'm doing for you, except my layout's a little different. I like my layout, but we plan the same. Our personalities are the same. So I watched her and I started in this because I just wanted to learn and play around. And so I've been doing that. Her journal's been going on for a couple of years. So I've been just using that alongside of this. And then I started developing my own, which is pretty much the 10 goals. I've always been a 10 goal girl planner. I've always had my, because I've always done this. I mean, I've been doing this for 20 years. So I've always would figure out what I was working on. So I hope that helps. I'll do a deeper video on this and daily tips and tricks. But I want to be careful because planning is not my calling. It's not really my, I don't have a lot of time to put planner videos together. It's just going with maybe I'll do one this week because that's what I'm allowing our quarterly resets. Every quarter, we take a break from our Bible study and we do our new me in 2023. So it gives an opportunity for those that have stalled and have just fallen behind. I cheer you to get back on. For those that are new to the ministry, I get you going. So you know where we're going to be in January when we start over. So for all my new people, and then for the people that are going right along, it's just our time to just, reset with God. Really kind of have a Sabbath, have a sabbatical, have a little bit of this is what I'm focusing on. Thank you, Jesus, reflection moment. I don't like to push and rush through that. And that's why we pushed everything, because God's like, you know what? We need to focus on that. Will you send the PDF in a newsletter? Well, look at this. Do you see this? Newsletter is in my brain dump for today, right there. So that's a priority today, and yes. And so what I'll do in a little bit when I hang up with you, I will start putting spokes of what's going to go in the newsletter. And that will get prepared for you for the weekend. And I'll probably work on that a little bit tonight as I sit outside after everything's done. I enjoy putting a newsletter together. I'm trying to have fun with that. So yes, I will. So these forms are going to come up. Do me a favor. Let me know, practice with them. I hope you enjoyed today. We're going on 1 hour, so I'm going to cut this off. But I love it. I loved spending this week with you. Congratulations to everybody that hung on, and I pray this is a blessing. And I will see you on Monday. Remember, here in the ministry, we have, I'm going to go back to our PowerPoint. Remember, here in the ministry, we have we meet. Any questions you can leave. Don't forget the Facebook group. If you want to join the Facebook group, HB Women's Ministry Community, you want to grab your new me, grab your new me. It's not too late. We'll always be working through that. Beauty for Ashes, that Bible study starts May 8th. You can grab your book over on Amazon, the Heather Baxter bookshelf, or you can grab it over on my website, heatherbaxter.com. And we're going to start that May 8th. You're going to see how that, how that goes along with your goals and everything. And then Beautiful Meshy Show, we have a podcast every Wednesday, and you can go and listen to all those past episodes. There's a lot of great stuff there. And then we meet live every Friday. Today, this is our live. Normally, we meet live at noon, but this is our live today. And then I want you to do me a favor. Here is your challenge. Please comment all top 10 or a few goals that are top on your radar. I would love you to drop a comment. We're preferably, because I know you're watching from a lot of spaces, preferably on our HB Women's Community page. I would prefer you to go over there and stir up everybody there. Stir up and let me see your top 10. Say, I watched today's video. I'm excited about my top 10. I would love to see a picture of your PDF pages over there. I'd love to see that. That would really help. Now, if you're watching from YouTube, just hit the like button and subscribe if you're not, and that will be a huge blessing. All right, I think we did it today. I think we wrapped it up, and I'm so excited. Thank you for joining me for the Quarterly Reset 5-day workshop, and I hope you come along on the journey. We have a lot of things and a lot of fun things going on as we get ready to launch our May study. So sit in this, work on some things, and take some time. And your new planner will be up. I'm hoping I'll get it into Amazon today and it'll be up. So you'll be seeing some videos on that. I love you, sisters. Enjoy your day, enjoy your season, and embrace what God has for you. Blessings.